Hey friends, welcome back. Today I've got another book review video for you, so stay tuned to see 5 of the books that I've read or listened to recently. If you're new around here, I do hope that you enjoy the video. Please consider subscribing to be a part of the family, and also consider heading on over to my Instagram page and following over there for more fun stuffs and things. These videos, if you're new to these book review videos, I go over 5 books that I've read or listened to on audiobook recently. If I'm being honest, most of them are audiobook. I don't read physical copies very often, mainly because audiobook just gives me more freedom to listen wherever I want to listen, whether it be while I'm cooking, cleaning, driving, etc. The first book that I read, or that I'm going to talk to you about, is called Smart Women by Judy Blume, and I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. Y'all, it has been years, decades probably, since I've read anything by Judy Blume. Can we just like go back in time to when I read Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Right? Anyone else? Raise your hand in the comments. Yeah. Judy Blume was like a staple of my childhood, and now as an adult, obviously she has more like adult women fiction. And this one, like I said, I gave it 3 out of 5. It was okay. So this centers around 2 divorced women, Bibi and Margot, and they're trying to reinvent their lives in Colorado after divorce. Both women have children along for the ride as the story unfolds, both like kind of hilarious and like awkward, because it's about women trying to find love or like new careers, and the kids are just like, what is happening, Mom? So even though Bibi and Margot are friends, things take a turn when Bibi's ex-husband moves next door to Margot so that he could be closer to he and Bibi's daughter. Margot's children are a little bit older, so they're like in the teen range, and Bibi's daughter is a bit younger. So when the ex-husband moves in next door and he finds himself over at Margot's house, things kind of start unraveling or raveling, whichever way you want to look at that. It was really nice to see the relationships between mother and daughter and mother and son. There was a really good dynamic there, and with a lot of authenticity to it. It was a good story, nothing over the top, but it was entertaining enough to ensure that I did not shelve this book. The next book is Corrupted by Lisa Scottoline. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. If you've watched these videos, you know I've really been into the Rosato and D'Annunzio series by Lisa Scottoline. And this was, like I said, 3rd book. If you're new to the series, they're legal thrillers centered around an office of female lawyers. So this story stars Benny as the law firm's main partner, and she is representing a client from her past during a murder trial. And they typically don't do murder trials, so the rest of the partners were like, there's something going on here, because this isn't typically the type of case that she takes on. So the book starts by giving the backstory of a boy named Jason, a 12-year-old boy, who was sent to juvie for getting into a basic like fight or argument in the cafeteria at school because he was being bullied. So Benny represented him back then, and unfortunately she wasn't able to get him out of juvie, and apparently like over the years that really shaped the way Jason's life unfolded. And so here we are 13 years later, she's representing Jason in a murder trial of the same bully that got him sent to juvie in the first place. Benny sees it as sort of an opportunity to redeem herself, since she wasn't able to help him in the past, and she's hoping to like really turn things around and get him out of this sticky situation, so to speak. The character development in this story was great, hence the higher rating. Typically these books get like a 3 to a 4, just because it's, I mean, they're good, but I saved my 5 stars for like the really good books that I read. But I like that you get to know Benny on a more personal level than the first few books. You get to really see her backstory, you get to see more of her personality, and that was really nice for me. And as always, Scottoline kept me invested in the storyline until the very last page. Do recommend. 2 thumbs up. The 3rd book I'm going to talk to you about is Damaged by Lisa Scottoline. Gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. This is the 4th book in the Rosato and D'Annunzio series. And I will put a warning here, there may be some triggers for child abuse, and this book reads like an episode of Law and Order. So if that's not something you care to hear, you probably would not like this book. So this story was completely heart-wrenching in some ways. Mary D'Annunzio, the firm's other main partner, takes on a case for a 10-year-old boy named Patrick who has severe dyslexia, and he's been denied services in his schools for as long as he's been in school. He's 10 years old. He cannot read. He can barely write. He lives with his grandfather because his parents died when he was younger. So basically the school will not adhere to his IEP, and they claim it's because there's too many kids, not enough staff, whatever the case may be. So anyway, the story kind of unfolds. Patrick's grandfather seeks out a lawyer because one of the teachers at school claims that Patrick tried to attack him with a pair of scissors, which is completely outside of the realm of Patrick's like personality and persona in general. And so Patrick's grandfather's like, something's going on here. This can't be happening, basically. So Mary takes on the case. She's very passionate about special education law. When Mary starts digging into the case, she actually finds out that Patrick was being abused by this teacher, and the teacher is using Patrick as a scapegoat to try and cover his tracks. And then when Patrick's grandfather ends up dead just days later, she knows that something more is going on. Things start spiraling really, really quickly. You see Patrick placed into foster care. You see Mary wanting to possibly, potentially foster him herself. She developed a very quick bond with this little boy, even though they haven't known each other long, but he trusts her and he's opened up to her. Again, it's just a very heart-wrenching, out of the series so far, this one is like the most heart-wrenching, I would say. All right, the fourth book is called Exposed by Lisa Scottoline. I gave this 3 out of 5, and this is the 5th book in the Rosato and D'Annunzio series. As you can see, I kind of just boom, 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 went through that series. This one was not my favorite. Out of the 5, this was my least favorite. And I think that's just because of the plot line. It wasn't something that I was completely interested in. It was more of a, excuse me, corporate law sort of situation. So it was good. I did finish it in a matter of days, so that's not like an issue. It's not like a bad book. However, I had a lot of difficulty attaching myself to the secondary characters in this like I had with the previous books. Mary is contacted by a lifelong friend, someone she grew up with from the neighborhood. They live in Philly. And he was terminated, he believes wrongfully, due to medical expenses associated with his 4-year-old daughter's cancer treatment. So Mary immediately agrees to take on this case, pro bono actually, because it is a friend from the family. It's a single dad raising a daughter who has cancer. However, problems arise when she realizes that Benny, the other main law firm partner, is actually the lawyer for the parent company of the company that fired her friend. That makes sense? So it comes into play where it's actually a conflict of interest for them to be representing, like out of the same firm, representing 2 clients that are going up against each other. However, in usual Scottoline fashion, the story takes some dips, some turns, some corrupted, some dark. And as you wind your way through the book to the finish line, you realize that big corporations will go to no lengths to try and save their bottom line, unfortunately. And the last book I'm going to talk to you about today is called When We Were Young by Kingsbury. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. This is the first book I read by Kingsbury. I have a few other ones that I'm I have one I'm in the process of reading, so I'll talk about that in another video. But I enjoyed it. So I guess this is part of her Baxter family series, which there's a ton of them. However, they can kind of be read as standalones from what I understand. I completely enjoyed this story as a standalone. I don't know what I'm missing as far as character like development goes, maybe nothing, but anyway. So this was a faith-based, very wholesome change of scenery from my typical crime and murder books. The book centers around Noah and Emily, who fall in love in college. Emily is caring for her disabled sister because their parents are dead, and she's going to college. She meets Noah, they fall in love. And millions of fans have followed their story ever since their Noah's public proposal to Emily. They follow them on Instagram. The intention of the Instagram account and being in the public eye was to spread positivity and love and God through these public posts. Because they're, again, very faith-based. But as time goes on, Noah kind of gets caught up in it. Years pass, they have 2 beautiful daughters. He gets caught up in the attention, and he gets caught up in making sure that their life looks perfect. And Emily is just like done. So as time goes on, the relationship starts to fail. They love each other, but they're realizing that maybe like there's some deep-seated like contention here, and Noah decides to leave. However, when he wakes up the next day after making this decision and talking with Emily about it, everything has changed. He's actually seeing his life through flash forwards, think like Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. So he wakes up and he's like 10 years older. And his children are 10 years older, and to him, he just fell asleep last night, but here he is living on his own because of the decision that he made to step out from the family back when, etc. So anyway, you have multiple chapters of these flash forwards, like 5 years, 10 years, and he does not like what he sees. And so you kind of get to see his revelation of, do we make it work or do we not make it work? So anyway, those were 5 books that I've read recently. Drop me a comment down below if you've read any of these or if you have suggestions, because I'm always looking for more book suggestions, either audio or physical. It doesn't really matter. But that's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we will see you later. Bye!